Hello and welcome to Whisky Resource. My name's Mark. This is review number 145. This is the third blind dram tasting of my 18-year-old showdown challenge. So, first one out was the Kalila 18-year-old. The second one out was the Glenfiddich 18-year-old. I thought the Glenfiddich 18 was slightly better than the Kalila 18. Scoreboard there. It's placed top. So what's today's dram going to be? Well, we don't know. As always, I have got my box of samples here together with me red Glencairn and some water should I feel I need to add some in for extra tasting. So let's just get straight to it and we'll see what the deal is. Here's my hat, ready to put the dram in once I've opened it up. Box down there. I have no idea what these are, as always. Pour a bit into the glass. Drop it into my hat. Spilled wherever it was onto me fingers, and it's a bit juicy. Right, okay then. So, cheers on the nose. That's fruity. Quite lively. It's very similar to the Glenfiddich 18. Oh man. So this is I suspect a double cask, that is an ex-bourbon and ex-sherry cask blended together. It's sweet, fruity as I said, honey, there's a bit of spice going on there, definitely some oak, other fruits, apples and pears. This is very, very Glenfiddich 18 and I can assure you it isn't Glenfiddich 18 because that's been done. This could be Glenord. Trying to think what else I've got. I can't remember half me 18-year-olds. Anyway, on the palate. This is higher ABV. It's about 46%, which is sending me straight to, I mentioned it last time, the Balblair 18. There is a touch of ex-bourbon cask going on with that, as well as some sherry. It's quite tannic, tannins, oakiness, bit drying. The texture is quite nice, it's quite syrupy. It's actually, the bitterness is actually quite off-putting on this one. And immediately, I'm saying that the Glenfiddich 18 that I had last, whilst it's only 40%, has a nicer palate than this one. I think this maybe just edges it on the nose. Again, I'm getting those similar kind of rye elements coming through, the kind of aniseed carnarvon type of vibe. There's no peat, no smoke at all on this one, so it's a squarely, I say, either a Speyside or a Highland malt. I don't think it's a blend, it's certainly not blended Scotch, so I'll put about three drops per spoon there, so that's about 9 drops I've got in there. I'm going to pop the lid on and I'm going to leave that just to breathe a bit and release some of those vapours in the glass, see if it's changed, see if the water's done anything. I'm getting coffee, kind of espresso coffee on the finish, a bit of dark chocolate, touch of creaminess. It's It's nothing too special. I can tell this is aged, this one. The oakiness, that tannin, that drying, certainly suggesting age. It's not particularly sweet. Whilst there is the sensation that's sweet, it isn't actually sweet. It's quite a dry. In wine terms, it's a dry white wine. It's a dry red wine. It's dry. The smell does give you the sensation of sweetness, but not on the palate. So my guess on this one then would be that is the Palate 18. In terms of would I buy a bottle of this? No, I wouldn't. It doesn't seem to have too much wow on the palate. The nose is better, as I think I mentioned. You're probably looking about what, a 120 bottle, £120 a bottle for this, I think. If it is the Palate, it's a bit disappointing, really. To be honest, maybe I'm not cut out for 18-year-old whiskies. But we'll see what this is like once I've come back to it. But we're going to do the reveal. I score this slightly better than the Kalila, not as good as the Glenfiddich. Surprisingly, I'd have thought a higher ABV whiskey. If that's where it is, we'll find out. So then, because I printed these, as I mentioned last time, you can't actually see what's on the label. So what I've done is I've handwritten on the back of the label, if I peel it, what it actually is. Oh my God. Right, okay. Now I know what everybody's going on about. This is actually, and this is disappointing. This is Glen Scotia 18. Never in my wildest dreams would I have said that that was a Campbeltown. I didn't get any of that Campbeltown funk, none of that sea spray, none of that salty, briny character. Not all Glen Scotias are peated, so obviously that's the bit that sometimes brings those maritime influences to the front, but I did not get that. That was a Scotia. And that is an actual disappointing bottle for the Glen Scotia. I think it retails for about 85 pounds, somewhere region of that. But I'm going to stop the video, I'm going to leave these to breathe, and I'll come back to it once I've given it a bit of time, and we'll see whether or not it's changed in the glass. But on initial thoughts, that is disappointing. I can't see that changing anything drastically, but we'll see. Hello, so I'm back after having a bit of a pause to let this whiskey breathe. Whilst I was waiting, I did a bit of research into this whiskey. The sample was kindly sent to me by Tom Healy, so thank you very much, Tom. It took me a while to get to the sample, but that's why I'm doing this, is to get through some of my samples. Retails for about £85. Quick bit of research suggests that the old style bottling, before they repackaged it, rebranded it, people preferred to this one. Having a quick scan through some of people's ratings, some people love it, possibly the older bottle, but this current bottle doesn't seem to be as popular, which is a bit unfortunate. Some of the tasting notes, official tasting notes, does mention that Campbeltown salinity there, but I just didn't get it. I did not get it. But we'll see if we get anything now that I know to Glen Scotia, see whether or not that influence of the particular whiskey changes me palate and nose. So here we go, let's see what we get. So no, I'm still not getting any of that Campbeltown funk. I'm not getting anything differently. I'm still getting some sherry. Reading about it, it says that it has a 1 year finishing period in ex-sherry casks, and that the majority of the whiskey, of rather the longest period of time of maturation, was in refilled ex-bourbon and hogsheads. I'm still getting the same notes on the nose there. It is fruity. It's oaky. And still getting that spice. Let's test the palate out though. It's probably brought out a bit more of the sherry, but it's dominated by the ex-bourbon cask, or the refill ex-bourbon casks. It's not really done anything more for me with the water. It's probably tamed some of that oakiness slightly. It's got rid of some of that bitterness. But to be honest, it's a bit of a letdown. It really is a bit of a letdown. For the fact that I love Glen Scotias, this 18, unfortunately, it's not doing anything for me. It's no, unfortunately not. I'm actually going to say, now that I've had time with the water, that it's probably level pegging with the Kalila. Probably actually just a tad below the Kalila. So the definitive decision is that number one, we've got the Glenfiddich 18, followed by the Kalila 18, and then the Glen Scotia 18. Yeah. Oh well, next time we'll see what happens. Laters.